Welcome to the Reading Project. This is our very first video ever, and it kind of came about for a couple of reasons. We've been running a website for the last 5 years called the Reading Project, and we've so far done about 450 odd reviews, mostly between three of us, and it felt about time to go on to YouTube. Primarily it started because we came in contact with a local author, which I'll talk about in the next video, who has published a book which is only available in the Blue Mountains where we live, and we thought that was particularly strange and we were kind of curious about that, so we read it, and I've finished off and published the review on our website yesterday. And on Friday last we went up and actually filmed some locations in Katoomba where the book is set, because we thought it'd be interesting, one, to show people who might be interested in the book some of those locations, and also it was a great day to capture some of the atmosphere that is described in the book, the fog, the mist coming up from the valleys, etc. Anyway, I'll talk more about that in the next video. What I want to talk about today, of course, is introduce our website and this hopefully ongoing project on YouTube. So the other part of the other reason we started this was we're kind of in lockdown at the moment. My son's come down with COVID, and it looks like today my wife may have also as well. And so we're all sitting at home, and I'm looking for projects apart from the usual things to do. So the website we started was really started as a kind of personal project about 5 years ago in 2017. I wanted to learn how to code, and also I kept getting this sense that I'd read so many books, and yet if somebody asked me what I thought of a book, I could tell them that I liked it or I didn't like it, or I could maybe tell them one particular thing about that book that sort of I remembered. But when you go back 10 years or something, it's really hard to remember exactly all the details you read. So it began as a kind of personal reading journal that other people could read. But in that time, we've also sort of discovered some other things. We made contact with other people on the net. I'm not into social media normally, as in I don't do Facebook or anything like that. One of my Reading Project partners, Victoria, runs an Instagram page for us, but I don't have any input into that really, except sometimes I give her some photographs. But it's also given us opportunities. We had a publisher contact us from America. We worked with them a little bit last year. And also, there's been one or two instances where authors have contacted us and made comments upon reviews we've done, which is really quite exciting. Apart from that, we've made new discoveries because we talk to people over the net via our website. Books we wouldn't have come across, books I should have heard of. Can you believe I'd never heard of Ralph Ellison's The Invisible Man, for instance, which I read and reviewed last year. I don't know how that one escaped me. Also, things like the other day when we went to Katoomba to film for Michael Duffy's book, we walked into a shop that actually isn't mentioned in that book. It's mainly sort of knickknacks and antiques, and I've seen that shop before, and I actually walked into it before, but the other day there was some new signs up, and I discovered that there was actually a bookstore down below. You've got to understand this is really exciting because so many bookshops have closed. We had a major bookshop close, sort of down in Penrith, just at the bottom of the Blue Mountains here. And I've heard of another local bookshop that's likely to be closing soon. And this was kind of like going into an old world bookshop. It was all second hand, where you could walk through the aisles and just explore. You'd come across, sort of shelves of orange penguins, and sort of glide through and discover nooks and crannies, sort of old leather-bound books and books falling apart, and it's that kind of thing that I've really enjoyed in the last few years. As for what we're doing now, there's this. This month I am just finished reading, of course, Michael Duffy's book, The Problem with Murder, which I'll talk about in the next video. I'm currently starting a case study by Graham McRae Burnett, which is interesting. I've read his other 3 books, and they're all very intelligent crime thrillers or crime fiction. I'm also been looking at this. This is actually something I'm not looking at on the website. The 1001 Nights. It's always something I've been curious about. It's actually the complete 1001 Nights, even though this is only volume 1 of 3. And I was talking to a gentleman at Lambda Books the other day who sort of had a complete copy of Richard Burton's sort of 19th century translation, and he couldn't believe that all of the Arabian Nights could be fitted into 3 penguins, but I don't think he was counting on how small some of the writing is and how compact that is. And the last thing I'm thinking about for this month is actually on my iPad. I made contact with an author, Pamela Crane, who I'd applied to get this as a free book from NetGalley, and of course we'd never done that before, and they just rejected us. But she sent an email out. It was just a mass email saying, if you didn't get a copy, just contact me. And so I did, and she was very nice, and she sent it, and I want to try to read that and review that by the end of the month, and send her a link, and so we'll see how we go with that. Anyway, that's the reading project. As I said, there's mainly 3 of us. I'm sort of the main reviewer, and I do the website, and I guess I'll be doing this because the other 2 don't like talking on camera. I hope to see more of you. We probably won't publish like weekly, maybe sort of twice, 3 times a month at most. If you are interested in seeing what we do, and especially if you're interested in seeing the next video when I produce that about Michael Duffy's book, The Problem with Murder, which we filmed in Katoomba the other day, before we were informed that members of the family had COVID, then you might want to like or subscribe to this, and we'll see you again at some other stage. Thanks for listening.